You might be one of those who is struggling today, either having been laid off from your job or having been fired from your job for no reason of yours, but because companies are cutting down on their staff. I want you to look back deep in your soul and believe once more in yourself. I want you to understand that it's not over for you, because when things go wrong, don't go with them. I look at me now, a young boy out of the beautiful nation of Cameroon, 27 million population country, slightly larger than the land size of California. I look at how far the journey has taken me from the time as a young man, not bald-headed like I am nowadays. A lot of hair, a smile on my face, and the desire in my heart to make something worthy of my life. When I landed at the Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport about 2 decades ago, I looked left, I looked right, I saw the population of people walking by, everybody busy, just the mammoth size of the planes and the airport in general, and I asked myself, Gustav, welcome to America. Is this going to be the American dream or the American nightmare? Fast forward a few years after that, settled down, married, father of 3 kids. Now I got to learn the beautiful lessons of success in this great nation called America. I got to learn the key things that will lead me into the path towards my dreams and give me a chance to be able to achieve the goals and ambitions that I've always set for myself. The first thing I learned is that you need to be courageous. The audacious, those who stammer, step up, open out their chest, and step forward will be the ones that are going to get the honey from the beehive in this great nation. I remember starting to work as a nursing assistant out in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I was looking straight into the eyes of this 95-year-old man. He was nice, fun-loving man, but his physical body was beaten. Successful entrepreneur, built $1 million, multi-million-dollar businesses. And I asked him a single question. I said, Ralph, over lunch one day as I was assisting him with feeding because he couldn't help himself no more. I said, Ralph, if there is one thing you could do with your life, if you were given time, what would that be? He looked at me straight in the face and he murmured some words because he couldn't speak loud enough. He said, Gustav, if I had a chance again, I would spend more time doing the things I love. That registered in my subconscious, and I realized the first thing, I need to figure out what is it that my heart yearns for. What is it that I will remember when I die and my days are over and the angels are surrounding me? What is that one thing that I want the world to remember that I was able to do? Now the second thing I realized is you need cheerleaders. You need people who believe in you unequivocally. I remember a few years back, my second daughter was in the 4th grade and they organized something called Lunch with Dad, and I told her I was going to make it to lunch. She said, Daddy, please, the lunch is at 11:50 in the morning. I want you to make it to our school. I'll be very happy to see you. I said, daughter, you can count on me, I'll be there. Long and short of the story, in the course of the day, I got a little busy with work. So I discovered about 5 minutes into the lunch and we lived about 7 minutes away. So I quickly got a shirt on and I put on a nice shirt slacks. I jumped to the car and I rushed to her school. By the time I got to the dining room, they had already started eating. So I looked around and I was trying to scan to find where my daughter was. Of course, I'm 6'4", 270 pounds, big guy, right? And I finally spot her and she said, oh, Daddy. And so I walked over to where she was sitting and I sat down and we started eating together. I noticed that she was quiet for the first few minutes and I looked at her and her eyes were a little bit watery. I said, baby, is there something wrong? Why are you crying? And she looked at me and she said, Daddy, I knew you were going to come. Daddy, I knew you gave me a word and your word means something. Oh my God. That hit me straight in the heart. Boom! So this little girl, barely 9 years old, understands the value of keeping my word and making sure that I show up to what I said I was going to show up to. That's the second key lesson I learned about the great nation and being able to pluck success out of this beautiful land of milk and honey. Now what happened after that is I took that lesson with me and I kept pushing forward. Fast forward a few years after that, I am an avid tennis player and I found myself in a competition competing with a group of guys for the championship, for the tennis men's championship in our local club in Minnesota. Now I was playing against a ferocious person. This gentleman was good. I can tell you for a fact, in terms of the skill set, he was somewhere right up there above me. But I came with the heart. I knew deep in me that if I had to play him and if I had a chance to win, I will not win only by what I'm able to do, but I also have to win by what I'm able to believe. What is it that deep in my heart I know I can come after him? You know what? By the end of the first set, I was down 1-0. And the second set, I was down 4-5. And we came on the recess and I'm sitting on the chair. It's hot outside at that time. It's the heart of the summer, about 85 degrees. I'm sweating, my bar head is sparkling like sunshine. And so I have a towel over my head. And suddenly I hear somebody put her arm around me. And I turn around to look, who was that? That was my daughter, my first daughter. And at that point, she was about 11 years old. She comes around, she puts her arm around me, and I turn around and look at her. She said, "Daddy, how is it going?" I said, "Baby, I'm losing. I'm actually again down." She said, "Daddy, you know, you always tell us not to give up. We are looking up to you not to give up this time." What a reminder about one of the key components too of success in this great nation. I looked up to her eyes and she looked straight into my eyes and she said, "Daddy, I believe in you." That propelled me like a lion. I came out the next game, I won that set. The third set was the final set. He beat me on tiebreak at 7-5. Now, why do I share this story? I ended up losing the game, but trust me, I went after that with every iota of energy, belief, and conviction in my heart from that point forward. So I learned these lessons about what it's going to take to become successful in this great nation. As a young boy coming out of Cameroon, a small nation in the heart of Central Africa, I knew there was a place in America for me. I knew there was a place in this country where I belong. I knew I have to be on the table because, as Les Brown says, if you are not sitting on the table, you are most likely the menu. I had to figure out a way. I had to find the one thing that corresponds with me. And today I want to urge each and every one of you listening to me. What is that one thing that you believe in? What is that one thing that won't let you sleep? You know, it said dreams are not what will not let you sleep. Dreams are not what you see when you go to sleep. Dreams are those things which will not let you sleep in the first place. What is it that your heart yearns for? I want to encourage you today that you are in the right place, that wherever you are, start with what you have. Don't wait for it to be perfect. I remember the story of a gentleman who actually had one of the biggest diamonds picked behind his home in Sierra Leone. This gentleman was looking for diamonds and he didn't realize. He started digging in the back of his house and he wasn't able to get far enough to get it. He gave up, sold that piece of land and moved away to another piece of land. Little did he know that he was that close to getting to it. I know we are living in the times of hyper complexity. The speed of information is going up at a normal pace, and I know sometimes, just sometimes, you might be one of those who is struggling today, either having been laid off from your job or having been fired from your job for no reason of yours, but because companies are cutting down on their staff. I want you to look back deep in your soul and believe once more in yourself. I want you to understand that it's not over for you, because when things go wrong, don't go with them. So as you listen to me today, I want to urge you to take your destiny in your hand. I remember not too long ago I lost my father, my hero, the man I've always looked up to. And as I was going to bury him at that point, he died with me here in the US, but we're originally from Cameroon. So I had to go to our embassy in Washington, D.C. and make arrangements to make sure his remains could be repatriated back to Cameroon. In the meantime, I was working for one of the top 5 technology companies in the world at that point. Little did I know that the 2 days I had taken off to go take care of that business, the decision had been made that a bunch of us in our team had to be let go. So as I'm driving through New York Avenue in Washington, D.C., trying to get to our embassy, I get a phone call from my manager, and I pick up the phone and say, "Hello, Bob." He says, "Hey, Gustav, how you doing?" I said, "Bob, I feel blessed today. It's an awesome day to be alive." I was bubbling like a bumblebee. And Bob said, "Gustav, I know your father passed. I'm sorry again about that, but I have bad news for you. We got to let you go." And for a second, I was angry. But I thought about it for 30 seconds and about a minute after that. And I told myself, "Gustav, you got to be angry with yourself. Why do you give somebody a chance to own your destiny?" And so I want to encourage you as you listen to me to understand that it's not over. Because what that really did for me is that it forced me into moving myself out of my comfort zone, which today I'm speaking to you. I never used to be this eloquent. I never used to be this articulate, but I forced myself to learn, because it's the one skill I believe if I perfect it, I'll be able to take care of myself and make a difference in the world. What is that one skill you have? That's my question for you today. What is that one skill that you are blessed with that nobody else can deliver on at the level of excellence that you can? So I don't know where you were born, but I want to leave you with this. I don't know where you were born. I don't know what circumstances you were brought up in. I don't know the state of your mind or your spirit right now. I don't know the challenges you have dealt with along the line in your life. But I want to remind you without any doubt in my mind or in my spirit that whatever circumstance or whoever told you or forced your mind or your spirit to believe that you are not intelligent enough, that you are not able, that you are not capable, that you are not smart enough, I want to remind you that you are enough. As you get out there today, believe me, my brother, my sister, go out there, be well, be blessed, and by all means, never stop being a blessing to somebody. Until next time, it's been Gustav B Achu.